Hey guys, it's Jason. It's another work day here in my home shop in Napanee. We're gonna get that shifter in today. That's what this video is going to be about. Never done this before, but hey, the instructions look pretty simple. I've read them about 3 times. I'm sure I can probably get this accomplished. So I've looked at it, I've dreaded it, I've done everything but do it. It's time to just get to it. So let's make it happen today, guys. We're gonna get that shifter in the car. I'm gonna show you the instructions real quick, and then we're just gonna get to doing it. We're gonna be worming around underneath the car. So yeah. Let's just get to it. Okay guys, here's my shifter. It's gonna look like that when I pull it off. I need to measure that far back inside the car to put a hole through it. My cable's gonna be routed like that. We flip to the next page, yada yada yada. I gotta put that thing on there. That is that. It's going to go on like that, and because I have a turbo 400, I'm looking to use those 2 holes. I have the metal pan, so I'm going to be looking to use these 2 spacers, so basically set up like this in those holes to match that down there, and then I have to go through the cable. So let's get that far at least first, and then we'll go from there. So let's get these parts, go underneath the car. Let's get that side taken off and go inside the car and see what we can make of it. Well guys, that seems to be going pretty quick. That underneath the transmission area was pretty easy. In here, I'm gonna have to figure out where I want to position this thing and where I need to drill that hole to go through the floor. That's gonna be kind of hard because that seat doesn't really move very far and not very easily, and I might need a second hand. So I'm gonna have to get to figuring some stuff out. Yeah. So guys, that took a few days to figure out. As you can see, if I put it down there on the floor, I wouldn't have enough room for it. So I got an extension to bring it up, and then that lets me run the shifter cable right across the top of the seat. That wasn't my first thought, but that's what the old internet said to do. I think it'll be fine because it also brings it up here like better in range for like that drive to second. That's gonna be a lot better, being able to just back and forth between those 2. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. So now we can get to mounting this guy to the floor. It's aluminum, it just has a protective film on it. I can get to mounting that to the floor, and then mounting this guy to that guy, and that should be that. So let's get those screwed down. Hey, looks like I got that thing installed. I think that's gonna be perfect. I think that's gonna work, guys. Plenty of room right there. If you're buckled in, you can grab it. That's gonna work. That's laying across the seat nice. We jump out here. Back here, I just popped a hole in the floor. So it'd go right straight through there. But down underneath here, I made some problems for myself. So that's where my shifter cable ends, and that's where it needs to end. So there's about that's about 2 foot short, guys. It's about 2 foot short. So I'm gonna have to measure this cable, see if I can't get another one a little bit longer, take up that slack. So I kind of feel like this is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Back to the old jigs for a longer cable. Yeah, the instructions say that I have a 5 foot cable, so maybe I need to look for a 7 or an 8. I was playing around this week off camera, and I got my fuel cell in with my fuel pump intake. That's a little 4-gallon. I think that's where I'm going to mount the battery to. I was thinking about adding that keg as a water tank, but I talked to somebody and they reminded me that if your coolant system can't keep up with the heat you're producing, you need a better coolant system. All you're doing by adding capacity is just making a bigger problem when you do have a problem. I got my fuel filter, and I got some hard lines, so I should be able to run my fuel lines up to my surge tank as well. I did run my lines from my surge tank to my throttle body. That's pretty nice. So now I can run from this little surge tank back to that fuel cell back there. I think I'm gonna get onto that next. I did get these made, big 10 ANs from my filter down to my port in the engine. I did remove all of the power steering hoses and the transmission cooler hoses, because unfortunately I did some research and I used the wrong hose. So I'm gonna get to remake those out of a different hose. I've actually been looking at it. I'm probably just gonna buy assembled hoses that are PTFE. I was looking up what my hoses that I use are rated for, because I know they're rated for E85, and it kind of dawned on me that they sell PTFE hoses, so I thought I would go and look and see what PTFE hoses were rated for. And they said the PTFE hoses are for hydraulic fluids. That's kind of what your automatic transmission is, and that's kind of what your power steering is. And it kind of calls those out specifically for PTFE hose. So don't make the same mistake that I did. Make sure your hose is the right hose for the situation, for the fluid you're going to be running. Yeah, it sucks having to remake some hoses, but it's better than trashing a power steering pump or power steering box or a nice transmission. So, you know, do your research on your hoses before you put the power to them, I guess to say. But that's unfortunate that cable is not going to be finished, even though that does look pretty good. I think that looks pretty good in there, guys. What do you think? Is that shifter gonna be perfect right there where it is? I just need to get a longer cable, or should I move that shifter? What do you think about the water tank idea? Is that a bad idea or a good idea? I think for a standing burnout where you know it's like a given time, like 1 minute, and you're really not taxing the coolant system, that it would just keep the engine nice and happy. But I think if you get into those burnouts where it's like 2 minutes and you got to have a coolant system, I think that would lead to some problems rather than help you out. But yeah, I need to start running fuel lines for that fuel cell up to the surge tank. But yeah, what about that shifter? You think that's pretty good? Well, guys, kind of seems like this is the theme of the last couple of videos, where it's a couple steps forward and a couple steps back. But I assure you, we're getting closer to that finish line. I now know the cable I need to complete the shifter, and I know the hoses that I need to get to finish up the hydraulic hoses up in the front for the power steering and for the transmission. I can get those on order, and I can get working on this fuel cell and getting it connected to the surge tank. And then I can also work on getting a battery box and get that mounted and get to wiring. That's the kind of exciting spot, you know. When we get to wiring, we're getting close to firing. So, you know, just got to check off these last couple of hoses, got to check off this shifter cable, and yeah, then we'll be on to wiring, and we'll be progressing. Yeah, I think I'm going to end this video here. Let me know if this helped you put a shifter in a G-body. It is kind of a pain in the butt with that bench seat. The little risers they make do help, but unfortunately you're going to need a longer cable. So what should be like a 2-hour job becomes, you know, a 2-week job, just because you're trying to figure out what you need. But it happens. We have plenty of stuff to still do on the Elco, so I will carry on with the other things while I wait for parts. seems to be a theme too, as of recently, is waiting on parts. Man, LS swaps are are a lot more difficult than they make them seem. There's a lot of parts that you don't know you need until you need. So yeah, that sucks. But you know, we'll get there. So I guess that's going to do it for today. You know, thanks for coming along. Give me some encouragement down there in the comments. I need it on this one. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. Yeah. Till next time, guys.